So tomorrow's vote is about America, not Obama. Although for so long he seemed to matter more than us. It's not all his fault. He was indulged by the media and celebrities. Their propaganda would make a Stalinist quiver. The Obamagandists shielded his failures and punished those not following the gospel. Celebs do this a lot. When saddled with a bad movie, they attack the critics. Thing is, we saw this movie. It was 4 years long, but it felt like 8. Can we tell Obama it counts as 2 terms? So now it's revenge, an emotional tit for tat. A vote for Obama is now like applauding a Bill Maher joke. Some people do it no matter the content.
So I would just like to say, for anyone thinking about voting for Mitt Romney, if that's who you are, if you're thinking about voting for Mitt, I would like to make this one plea. Black people know who you are, and they will come after you.
Hilarious! So joking that blacks are a violent threat is a hit with Maher's applauding white seals. But since Obama got $1 million from him, it's okay. Who runs HBO these days? Is Reverend Wright's arm up Maher's sagging butt? Ew. He's a puppet. It's a puppet reference. So, what's beyond the election? Well, whoever wins, we're always going to be the incumbent. It's up to us to protect our future from bad ideas, or we end up like frogs in a slow-cooking pot, sleeping through our demise. As for Mitt, there's nothing cool about him. Hero worship is impossible. The first Mormon president will never make Eva Longoria swoon. But to quote Miss Turner, we don't need another hero. We just want someone who gets the job done. Is Mitt the guy? Why not? At least we aren't blinded by cool. And so as the cool kids orchestrate a countrywide version of high school with Will Ferrell and Bill Maher acting as dumb jocks taunting the uncool, it's your turn. It's time for you. It's time for adults again, facing up to an adult world. We cannot wait another 4 years for Obama to grow up. How to make clear that was a puppet reference, not some kind of strange perverted act. All of us are going to go around and do our own little thing on about tomorrow. I'll just go across this way. Start with you, Kimberly.
Okay, so I'm expecting great things tomorrow. I liked what I saw today, a lot of passion, a lot of momentum, enthusiasm, which I think is going to be key for the voter turnout, especially when you see an election like this where all the numbers kind of across the board. We're seeing some consistency for once in some of the polling that shows that this is going to be a very tight race indeed. But if I had to favor one, I'd say Romney just because of the enthusiastic supporters he has. And the crowds. I mean, did you see it all weekend? Come on.
Yeah.
Somebody should have sold tickets.
Yeah. Bob, your turn.
Well, if I had to make 2 points, if I had used that up the butt analogy, I'd have been beat up by everybody at this table, number one.
But it's a puppet. A puppet has a hand.
I understand what you said, but it's a long reach.
Literally.
That's the point.
Now I get myself in trouble just by saying that.
It's so
and by
bad.
the way, enthusiasm the last weekend, everybody has enthusiastic rallies, but that's good. I mean, it's an enthusiastic electorate. Let's hope that it stays that way. But the reason I think Obama needs to be reelected for 4 more years is simply this. I think things have gotten better. There's absolutely no doubt people are better off than they were 4 years ago. I think he did a remarkable job on Hurricane Sandy. If he's to win, it will be a combination, I think, of Sandy, of Bill Clinton, and early voting. And so it'll be, I think it's important. I think the continuity is important. The one thing about Romney, he may be a nice guy. He does have some record as managing a company, which does things that I wouldn't necessarily do. But the fact is,
like capitalism.
Excuse me. I thought I was told that nobody was going to interrupt.
Sorry,
it's true. So I was told nobody was going to interrupt what I said. Now,
call your lawyer.
Once again, well, it doesn't matter.
No, give him his time. He's right. Nobody interrupted me.
I was just before the show started. It went like this: nobody interrupt anybody when they're talking. And I just made a comment, and I had 2 interruptions. Okay. And the last thing that I'll say is that I think that everybody, particularly my friends around this table, need to go back to school and understand what the word socialism means. It has nothing to do. Oh, I see. Excuse me.
Why I can't even make noises.
I'm not going to say anything.
No, come on, Bob. No, I want you to finish.
No.
I know you deserve it.
He kissed the ring enough.
He has to sit here and endure my monologues.
Endure your monologues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to listen to me, so I should listen to you.
I have to listen to everybody.
I know, that's true.
I would just say that I think Obama is a phenomenally good president and will get better and better. And Romney is somebody we know nothing about, and I think that's dangerous.
All right, Eric.
My turn. Okay, so I'll respond to Bob's comment, the crack about what socialism. I understand socialism.
No, you don't really understand
socialism. I really
Interrupting.
kind of do. It's a redistribution.
No, you don't. It's a whole
class
different
warfare.
thing. You need
How
to
about
go.
this?
Listen,
I'll coin another term for you. He's an Obamanist. Obamunist. Obamunist. All right, ready? 7.9% unemployment.
Okay.
45 million people out of on the food stamp rolls. 1.5% growth rate, subpar growth for 4 years. That's no way to handle the economy. My brain says Romney, but let's take a look at the electoral map. Let's take a look at the road to who's going to win, specifically for Romney. Here's how he has to win. He has to either win Ohio, we've been talking about this, or...
Can I interrupt you for a second?
You can't.
No, or
We made a
he can do it this way. It's either Minnesota
Dana.
or Wisconsin, one or the other. He has to win one of those, plus Iowa, plus New Hampshire. This has to be the only other way he does it without Ohio. After that, they told me to hold it up.
It's so funny.
But one more. Can you look at the bottom of this? There's a couple of things that are very important. Pennsylvania and Florida are going to be called relatively early. The polls are going to be closing early. If Pennsylvania goes late, be careful, because that probably means Romney's doing a lot better than Obama's doing in Pennsylvania. Maybe the election goes to Romney. But if Florida goes late, everyone thinks Romney should go early. It should be called early. If Florida goes late into the night, that means Mr. Romney's not doing as well as everyone thought. So it would probably go the other way. There's my
Follow that?
my 2 cents.
Sorry,
Dana. They told me to hold
When
it
you
up.
watch the replay, you'll see why we
You'll
were
see
laughing.
why it's so funny. I could see the Perino eyeball. It was like, yeah, right?
Like a little gremlin from the woods peeking out of a hole in a tree.
What are you?
I'm a sprite.
Sprite.
I'm a sprite.
He's a puppet
I'm a spry
master.
sprite. Dana, do you have anything remotely interesting to say that doesn't include the word Jasper?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so Eric talked about his brain because he knows how to do numbers. I'm just going to talk about gut and heart.
Okay.
Because I think Peggy Noonan noticed this today as well. Over the last several weeks, what has happened, especially since the first debate in Denver, Republicans across the country have gone from being just anti-Obama to now being pro-Mitt. You don't get the kind of crowd's enthusiasm, the kind of goosebump type commercial, that feeling. And I am not deep in the weeds on the numbers. I'm just going to tell you that that's one of the things that I think is important. I'm going to mention one other thing. The thing that I think is impressive about America this time around in this news cycle, or this presidential cycle, which has been quite negative. You know, we all thought that during the primary that Mormonism and Mitt Romney's religion was going to become a really big deal. And the Obama team hung back from that, and I think that was at the president's direction, to his credit, because we actually had then a debate about who would be the best man to lead, and it wasn't about their religion. Mm-hmm. All right. That was kind of serious.
It was a serious point.
Can we talk?
Yeah, we could talk. Go for it, Bob.
I just wanted to point out that Eric's numbers, if you will, he's not going to win Iowa and he's not going to win New Hampshire. Those two states are pretty much in the bag now. So it gets back to Ohio. But can I make one other point here? There's 3 states that automatically trigger a recount, and that is in the states of Colorado, Pennsylvania, and Florida. And Ohio, automatically trigger recounts. It's 1% or less automatically triggers them in 2 of those states. Ohio, 0.05 or less automatically re-triggers. And if you get less than 1% or less than 10,000 votes in Virginia and North Carolina, you can request a recount. So it may quite be possible.
Can't we just skip the first vote then? Can't just skip the first vote and go right to the recount?
That's true.
Well,
and count what?
That's an important.
What's wrong with you?
It probably won't matter in Florida because I think Romney will win it by more than that. But in Ohio, it certainly will, and in Pennsylvania, it will. And if you want to call for it in Virginia and North Carolina, you can
recount. Fine, but there's also lawsuits that may be filed. There's rumors out there in the street. The whisper is that the Democrats are going to sue. They're already lining up the lawyers to sue in Ohio if they don't hold Ohio.
Well, they sued
no matter what
yesterday in Florida for good reason because that foolish governor of theirs closed down polling places.
I tell you, there better not be any hanging chads. If I see any chads, I'm going to hang them.
No, there's no more chads.
No more chads?
No.
Good. Kimberly, how do you, let's say Obama wins. How do you see him reacting? Will Will he tack left? Or will he seek unity?
Yes, with surprise and astonishment, perhaps, that he was able to pull it off once again. But I don't think he's going to pivot at all towards the center or anything like that we saw Clinton do to be able to pull people together. But he would do well to listen to the electorate, especially if this is going to be a close election. He does have to bring people together, unless he wants to be the most unpopular president of all time. Because if things go the way it's looking, if he gets elected, it will be not by a large majority. It will be a very small number, and that is going to be very difficult for him to govern with any kind of authority when half of the country wanted you out.
And two things to note. During an interview, was it Univision, or no, it was with the Des Moines Register, the one that was kind of stifled, that was pushed under the rug for a while and then brought out later. President Obama said he was going to tackle immigration reform in his second term. Richard Trumka also said today, I believe it was, he said in the second term, card check will be in President Obama. So here's where you stand. Right now you have a decision maker. Who are you going to vote for? You know, the guy who's created jobs on one hand, or the guy who promises to have immigration reform and maybe card check in his second term.
The mistress of the unions.
Because I have one more thing to say. But you want to say something, Dan?
No, I'm good.
Okay. This is,
wow, you're just mailing it in.
What I would say about this is that I thought one of the all-time lows occurred yesterday when Paul Ryan got on a conference call with the Christian Coalition Ralph Reed people and said that Obama was leading us down a path away from Judeo-Christian tradition, which is one of the roughest, toughest, most obscene comments I've heard. Now, if they're resorting to that, let's face it, man, that's unexcusable.
Well, at least. Or did he ever accuse a candidate of killing somebody?
Yeah, right.
No, I don't think Obama ever did that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God!
Remember the Romney ad?
Stick ad.
There goes
Obama
Bob's
himself.
frontal lobe again,
wait,
forgetting everything.
Look, I think when suggesting revenge on half of the country when President Obama said that on Friday is just as bad. And people say a lot of things. No, I don't think that is bad.
Obama's Vice President Joe Biden said Romney's going to put you back in chains. Is that any better?
I just think it was absurd and obscene.
I don't approve of it on either side.
But why, Bob? Are we going to talk about Gallup? Can we talk about? We'll talk about Gallup poll in another block.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You don't want to do it now?
Well, no, because I don't think you have enough time.
All right, fine then.
In your block.
Well, then why did you bring it up? I don't know what she's doing
It's called
here.
a tease.
All right.